Welcome to the Cheating Wife Stories channel. I smell it first. A faint, cloying sweetness in the bedroom air, like old perfume mixed with sweat. And I see it, a purplish shadow on her neck, shaped like teeth, just below her ear. It makes my stomach pitch. My heart hammers so loudly I can't hear my own breath. My vision narrows. Time crawls, and all I know is that shape. Someone else's mouth pressed against her skin. Not me. I wish I couldn't smell it. But I do. A smell of him. Sweat and cheap body spray, maybe. It clings to her pillow, to the curve of her collarbone. My body feels electric, adrenaline surging through every vein. My teeth clench so hard my jaw aches. Sarah. I force the word out, but it's shredded by panic. She turns quickly, tugs at the collar of her robe. Her hair is damp, and there's a bruise of teeth on her neck. My chest is tight, my palms sweaty. Suddenly, I can't think. Flashes behind my eyes. I see the photo on my phone's screen, the earlier text she'd meant for him. Sent to me instead. My name isn't on that message, his is. I want to speak. Nothing comes. She moves away, into the bathroom, closes the door, tries to lock it. The click of that lock is so final, so matter-of-fact, that something in me snaps. My mind seizes, like a motor out of oil. I grab the handle. It rattles. I'm shaking. My voice cracks, half shouting. Sarah, open the door. No answer. Just the muffled sound of water running. Or maybe it's her tears. I lean against the frame. Try to calm myself. My throat constricts. My heart keeps pounding. I have trouble swallowing. Words tumble in my head, colliding, incomplete. I saw the picture earlier. That's what triggered it all. I was sitting in the kitchen, finishing a lukewarm cup of coffee. The TV was on in the living room, highlights from Sunday's football. My phone buzzed. No subject line. I tapped the notification, expecting another spam or maybe an appointment reminder. And there she was. Sarah, hair wet, shoulders bare, lips parted with some private excitement. And behind her, Derek. Lean, muscled, younger than me by a mile. 23 if I recall right, maybe recently turned 24. His arms were partially around her waist. His face was caught mid-smile, an expression so intimate it made my stomach twist. The shot was obviously for him to see, but she'd sent it to me. No words, just the photograph. I stared, breath caught in my throat, for maybe 4 seconds. Could have been an hour for all I knew. Then I deleted it. I closed my eyes, pressed my palms against them, until I saw bright bursts behind my lids. I told myself maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was old. Maybe 100 ridiculous excuses. But in that image, her hair was exactly the length it is now, the color it is now, the style I'd seen her leave the house with last week. No point lying to myself. We used to have a stable routine. Me, Sarah, and the life we cobbled together. We'd known each other since my days at Ohio State, her from Michigan. Married soon after I got my MBA. Moved to Chicago for my job in logistics. A quiet life. We had a boy, or I thought we did. That's later. The DNA test. But in that single snapshot, I saw my entire sense of home and marriage unravel. I left the house for a while. Didn't text her, didn't call. Just walked around the block with no jacket. Despite the chill, my mind was a broken reel, looping that picture over and over. Her parted lips, his presence behind her, so confident, so sure. Then I came back, forced normalcy. She was out, probably at yoga or errands. My pulse hammered each time I heard a car pass, thinking it might be her returning with explanations. But no. Night came. She got home, said a casual hello like any other day. I said nothing about the photo. I just nodded, pretended I was reading something on my phone, ironically the very device that had shown me her betrayal. Later, in our bedroom, I noticed that faint bruise on her neck for the first time. She tried to hide it with her hair. We both knew I saw it, though. Some kind of weird standoff. My gut was coiling with anger, but also with guilt. Guilt for not confronting her immediately. Guilt for loving her so much that I didn't know how to handle the truth. My father taught me that real men confront problems head-on. And here I am, paralyzed by heartbreak. I slump against the bathroom door, hearing her shift inside. The doorknob is in my hand, my knuckles white. I want to scream at her. Tell me everything. Why him? Why now? Why send me that photo at all? But my words come out broken, breathless. Sarah. I say again. The name too thick on my tongue. Come out. Please. Silence. Then a rustle of fabric, footsteps. Finally, her voice, small and tight. I can't right now. That stabs me deeper than I expect. I draw in a harsh breath. You can't or you won't. A pause. The door remains closed. I realize I'm trembling. I wait, but she never answers. The bitter taste in my mouth is overwhelming. Fine. I manage, pushing myself upright. Stay in there. My voice cracks. I back away from the door, and the cold reality sinks in. She's there. I'm here. There's a bruise on her neck from another man. A photo on my phone that I'll never forget. And I'm powerless in my own house. I stumble into the hallway, flick off the overhead light. My breathing is shallow. I remember the boy. Not sure what to call him now. My son or Durex. The knowledge feels like a slow-acting poison. The test results I got a few days ago remain on the coffee table in an envelope. I haven't confronted her with that either. Not yet, because part of me is so ashamed, as if it's my fault that I never noticed, that I never suspected. A month ago, I got suspicious. There were subtle hints. The timeline didn't match. The boy's features that never quite resembled mine. And then I found a letter from a clinic, something about paternity testing. She must have done it for official reasons, possibly a medical detail. I can't be sure. But it was enough for me to do my own test, quietly. The results, 0%. Absolutely no chance. We'd been married for 8 years. I guess I did the math wrong somewhere, or believed her too readily. Guilt flared in me. Maybe I'd let her down physically, emotionally. Maybe I wasn't enough. I swallow hard, recall that moment when I opened the envelope. That cold, clinical wording. Paternal probability. 0%. The finality of science. No discussion. No wiggle room. The first thing I felt was heartbreak. Then anger. Then this suffocating sense of guilt that refuses to leave. Because maybe I wanted to believe a lie for so long. It became truth to me. Return to present. Continued confrontation. Now, in the hallway, I hear the bathroom door unlatch. She emerges slowly, sees me standing there with the overhead light off. Just the glow from the nightlight reflecting on the walls. She's hugging her robe around herself. Jim. She begins, voice trembling. I hold up a hand. Not now. My voice is tight. I can't even look at you right now. She tightens the robe at her neck, hiding the bruise. We stand in silence for too many seconds, the tension thick as wet cement. I'm sorry, she whispers. I didn't mean to send. You meant to send it, just not to me. I cut in. An explosive surge of rage flares. You realize how that sounds, right? You didn't mean for me to find out. Her eyes glisten with tears. She tries to speak, but her voice cracks. Jim, I'm so. I can't bear it. I brush past her, grab my keys from the kitchen table, and leave the house. My breath rattles in my chest as I step into the cool night air. The door slams behind me with more force than I intend. The slam reverberates in my skull. I walk. My mind is a haze of Durek's face, the bruise on her neck, the memory of how she once looked at me like that. My father's voice echoes from years ago. Son, you confront trouble. You hold your ground. You do not run. But I can't do it right now. Every time I think of her lips parted for someone else, A wave of fury and guilt and heartbreak collides inside me. It's too much. I spend the night in my car, parked a few blocks away, ignoring the calls that come in around 2 a.m. She texts me once, a long string of words I don't bother to read fully, just scanning. Never wanted to hurt you. I'm so confused. My fault. Please come back. Part of me aches. Part of me wants to punch my steering wheel. Another part of me is numb. Morning breaks. I realize I've dozed off, my head against the driver's seat window. My phone battery is almost dead. I have to go to work. There's a meeting at 9 with my team, and ironically, Derek's name surfaces in my swirling thoughts. He's a tight end on a local semi-pro team, not someone who might appear in my professional sphere. Thank God for small mercies. I run a hand over my stubbled chin and drive home. The house is silent. She's not in the kitchen, not in the living room. The bedroom door is closed. I don't check. I just shower and shave, get dressed in a crisp button-down and slacks, and head to my office. On the way out, I grab the envelope with the test results, just in case I need the final push to do what must be done. All day at work, I try to function. I give instructions to my sales team, feign interest in their weekly progress updates, but my mind is pinned to that photograph. I see my reflection in the office window, an older guy with tired eyes, hair thinning at the temples, a man who's living a lie. My hands feel clammy. My chest pulses with a heartbeat that's too fast. Around lunchtime, I slip into an empty conference room. I can't eat. My stomach is knotted. I stare at my phone, rereading the single text from her. My anger flares. I type a response, then delete it. I want to say, "You humiliated me. You never loved me. Why do this to me?" But a piece of me hates myself for wanting her to reply with some kindness, some explanation that might soothe me. The guilt tears me up. Guilt for being so weak that I still want her comfort, even after her betrayal. That evening, I decide to face her. When I open the front door, I'm prepared for a talk. An ugly, messy confrontation where we lay everything out. Except she's gone. Her car is missing from the driveway. The overhead lights are still on, and the living room stands eerily silent. I flick on the TV just to kill the silence. I move to the bedroom. The bed is half made, her side rumpled. In the bathroom, I notice her toothbrush is gone. Some of her makeup too. A creeping dread slides into my gut. She left. Already, I check the closet. Some of her clothes are missing, but not all. So maybe she's just staying away for the night. A wave of conflicting emotions hits me. Relief, fear, heartbreak. Maybe it's best. I can't speak to her calmly anyway. I open the dresser. I see the watch she gave me for our anniversary. I remember how excited she was when she saved up for it. How she teased me about being impossible to shop for. The memory stings. My eyes burn. I reach for my phone. No new messages. I let out a shaky breath. Over the next few days, we barely see each other. She comes home when I'm at work, packs more items, disappears. I change the passwords on the bank accounts. Maybe it's petty. Maybe it's just self-preservation. I recheck the will that names her as my sole beneficiary if anything happens to me. I imagine her receiving that fortune while she laughs with Derek. So I schedule an appointment with a lawyer to start rewriting. The slow process of erasing her from my legal life begins. She left her wedding ring on the nightstand one day. I found it lying there like a dead thing. Sometimes I recall that black and white printout of the test results, 0%. The knowledge is heavier than an anvil on my chest. I keep it in the top drawer of my desk, a silent reminder that the boy I raised was never mine. Or maybe the heartbreak is that I was never truly his father, never truly their family. But then, I find myself missing them. Missing her, missing the boy. It's a twisted kind of self-torture, thinking about the way she used to tiptoe into bed at night, pressing her cold feet against my calves, or how the kid would call me, Dad, in that bright voice of his. I wonder if he suspects anything. If he feels the tension. He's away now, living on campus, playing football, like Derek. Jesus. One chilly Saturday, I find myself at the local college stadium, watching the boys' game from the bleachers. I'm alone, arms crossed tightly over my chest. He's out there, running plays. I can't help noticing how his build resembles Derek's. My heart lurches. He catches a pass, sprints down the field. A pang of pride mixes with raw bitterness. I remember teaching him to throw a football in the backyard. Now, I'm not sure whose backyard that was. Across the field, I spot Derek. He's on the sidelines, wearing a jacket with the team logo. My jaw tightens. He glances up into the stands, scanning. For a moment, our eyes meet. It's a flash, but I feel an electric jolt of rage. He looks away quickly, like he's been caught. My fists clench. I imagine storming down there, confronting him in front of everyone. But I just sit, rigid, boiling inside. He's not messing around with some nameless fling. He's messing with my life, my marriage. The lines blur, and I can't breathe for a second. Then I swallow, force down the urge to do something reckless. The game ends. I watch the players file out. The boy, he still thinks I'm his dad. Or maybe he suspects the truth by now. Sarah might have told him. I can't guess. The next day, Sarah comes back to the house. Unexpectedly, I hear the door open while I'm in the kitchen. My stomach drops. She calls my name quietly. I step out, watch her from across the living room. She sets down a small suitcase by the wall. She's pale, eyes rimmed red from tears or lack of sleep. She's holding something in her hand, a set of keys, or maybe a phone. I see the faint bruise on her neck has mostly faded, or maybe it's hidden under makeup. Either way, the memory of it is fresh in my mind. "Hey," she says, voice trembling. My chest feels like stone. "Hey." I cross my arms. Silence stretches between us. I see her biting her lip, struggling to find words. "I'm sorry," she finally says quietly. I know that doesn't fix anything, but She breaks off, tears threatening. She steels herself. "I never wanted to destroy us, Jim." I let out a shaky exhale, an angry laugh leaving my mouth. "Well, it's destroyed. Congratulations." She flinches. Her eyes wander to the floor. I feel a flash of guilt. Maybe that was too harsh. Then I recall the photo. Derek's grin. Her parted lips. No, not too harsh. She tries to approach me. I hold up a hand, stopping her. "Don't," I whisper, voice raw. "Just don't." She glances at the envelope on the table. The dreaded test results. She sees my name on it. A flicker of understanding crosses her face. "You know," she says, half statement, half question. I nod, jaw tight. She closes her eyes briefly, a tear rolling down her cheek. I didn't mean for you to find out that way." My laugh is bitter. "Which part? That the boy isn't mine, or that you're sleeping with Derek?" Her shoulders shake. "I never wanted to lose you, Jim. I've been so confused, feeling like we were drifting, like we were just going through motions." I know it's no excuse. The old me would rush to comfort her. This new me stands firm, arms crossed, fighting the urge to yell. My voice stays low, intense. "I loved you," I say, "and I took care of you. If something was missing, you could have told me. But you just..." My breath catches. I can't finish. She's crying softly. The flicker of compassion I feel is overshadowed by betrayal. I want to hold her, yet I also want to push her away until she's gone for good. A swirl of contradictory emotions churns inside me. We stand there, the tension so thick I can taste it. Finally, she swallows, swipes at her tears, and says in a timid voice, "Can we talk? Like, really talk?" I nod once, jerk my head toward the living room couch. We both walk over. She sits. I remain standing a few feet away, not ready to share space with her. She begins haltingly, explaining how she felt neglected, how the spark had died, how Direct's interest ignited something in her. She tries to rationalize, to fill the silence with confessions. Her words come in fits and starts. At some point, my anger flares. I interrupt her. You had every chance to tell me you were unhappy. Why betray me with him? Someone we know. She presses her trembling lips together. I didn't plan it. It just happened. Then I was in too deep, ashamed to admit it. And the boy. She shakes her head. I didn't want to break your heart. I was stupid. You were cruel. I snap. My eyes burn. She looks away. I breathe, try to keep control. Her tears flow silently. My heart aches, but the weight of betrayal remains. For a moment, neither of us speaks. Then I turn, pick up the envelope from the table. I toss it onto the couch next to her. She hesitates, then opens it, scanning the words. She already knows the results, but seeing them in black and white is different. She flinches as if struck. Her voice catches. I'm so sorry, Jim. I push out a breath. I'm rewriting my will. My voice trembles slightly, but I press on. I'm taking your name off my finances, and I need you out of this house. Permanently. She draws in a ragged breath, tears sliding down her cheeks. I understand, she says. I'll pack the rest of my things. She stands, steps toward the hallway. Sarah, I say softly. She pauses, glances over her shoulder, tears streaking her face. I want to say so many things. I still love you, even after this. I can't bear to think of you with him. My heart is tearing, but all I manage is a strangled I. Then I clamp my mouth shut, shaking my head. The tears threaten, but I hold them back. She waits, but I can't say anything. Finally, she nods and retreats down the hall. The bedroom door closes softly, leaving me alone in the dim living room. Days slide by. She's gone. Moved in somewhere else. Probably. With him. I don't ask. I don't want to know. I change every password. Banking. Phone. Even Netflix. I file for divorce. The house feels empty, like a tomb. Her perfume lingers on the pillows. Some nights, the memory of her laughter stabs me awake in the dark, and I fumble for the lamp, drenched in sweat. My guilt intensifies. I keep thinking I failed her somehow, that if I'd just paid more attention, if I'd known how to talk to her better, this might never have happened. But then the anger returns. She made this choice. She betrayed me, lied to me, took advantage of my trust. And to top it all, the boy is biologically Derek's. Even though I raised him, the marriage vow, the fatherhood, none of it was real in her eyes. She texts me once. Can we please talk? I want to explain more. I delete it without reply. She calls. I let it ring. My chest constricts each time, but I don't pick up. I can't. She's not my wife anymore. Maybe legally for a moment, but not in my heart. I focus on the logistics of separation. I consult the lawyer, do the math, start documenting everything. Bank statements, property, wills. The process is cold, official. But in a strange way, it's the only thing that keeps me moving forward. My father taught me to be methodical. So I create lists, spreadsheets, pivot tables, treat my heartbreak like a project to be managed. One evening, I'm clearing out the closet, tossing her leftover clothes into boxes for donation or storage. My phone buzzes. Another call from her. I close my eyes, swallow the lump in my throat, and put the phone away. Not answering. She can't come back. The vow was shattered the moment I saw that photo. And yes, damn it, I still love her in some twisted corner of my heart. But that doesn't matter anymore. It's all so quiet now. The only noise is the hum of the fridge or the creak of the old furnace. I stand in the empty living room, boxes lined up by the front door. Sometimes I catch sight of a small object. A book she once read, a coffee mug with her lipstick stain, and I feel a flash of memory. The guilt stirs. The love stirs. Then I push it down, bury it under the finality of what she did. I think of the boy. He doesn't text me. Maybe he's heard from her that I know the truth. Maybe he's confused, torn, or resentful. He was never mine. I guess I was never his father. I feel that ache of loss too, but I don't know how to handle it, how to even talk to him. It kills me inside. But I do nothing. Maybe that's the worst part. One afternoon, I drive to the local field again, watch the boy from the bleachers. He's running drills, practicing. He sees me for a fleeting second. Our eyes meet. He hesitates. We don't wave. We just exist in that strange second. I see him blink, confusion flickering on his face. Then the coach blows a whistle, and he tears down the field. My chest feels hollow. I notice Derek on the sidelines, rummaging through a duffel bag. He looks up, and for a moment, we lock eyes. There's no dramatic showdown, no yelling. He looks uncomfortable, at a loss. I stare back, emotionless. Then I turn away and leave. That's it. That's the entire confrontation. A shared glance in a dusty stadium. And it's enough to boil my blood, but I swallow the anger, press it into my bones. I'm in my half-empty house a week later. The furniture is rearranged. The pictures of me and Sarah are gone from the walls. I took them down carefully, not sure whether to burn them or store them. They're in a box in the garage. Maybe I'll torch them one day. Maybe I won't. Right now, it doesn't matter. My phone rings. I see her name on the screen, that familiar ringtone I'd assigned to her. My stomach twists. I let it ring. It stops, then starts again a minute later. She's persistent. My fists clench. I ignore it until it falls silent. I move about the house, methodically picking up random bits of debris. Crumpled receipts, an old to-do list. The phone vibrates again. A text this time. She says, "Please talk to me. I know you hate me, but I need you to understand. I need to see you. Please." My breath catches. My eyes close. She needs me. That used to be my greatest joy, to be needed by her. Now it's a knife in my heart. I set the phone aside. My hand is shaking. The next moment, I'm outside, pulling open the garage door. There's a stack of bricks, left over from some old landscaping project. I said I'd build a barbecue pit or a garden wall. Never got around to it. Now, the bricks are stacked, waiting. With a grunt, I pick one up, weigh it in my hand. It's cold, solid. I realize I'm going to build something new. Some structure, some barrier, perhaps metaphorical. A place she'll never enter again. The days grow short. The nights quiet. My plan is simple. I'll finalize the divorce, partition our assets, and vanish from her day-to-day life. I might stay in this house, or I might move. I haven't decided. But the essence is the same. She can't cross that threshold again. The last conversation we had was me telling her to leave. That might stand as our final farewell, a stilted, tearful exchange in the living room. She calls sometimes, leaves voicemails that I refuse to hear. Finally, about a month after she moved out, I find a large manila envelope in the mailbox. From her. Inside, a single letter, a few typed pages of confessions, and pleas for forgiveness. She begs me to meet her, to talk. My hands tremble. I read every word, my eyes stinging with tears. She says she never stopped loving me, that the affair was a mistake, that the boy is confused, that Derek means nothing in the grand scheme. She begs me to give her a chance to fix it. She claims she'll do anything to show me she's sincere. The letter ends with, "I know I've lost your trust, but I hope I haven't lost your love. Please, please." I fold the letter carefully, slide it back into the envelope. My tears are hot, rolling down my cheeks. I realize I do still love her, in some misguided, agonizing way. But everything we had is burned to ashes. The pain, the betrayal, that photograph, they're all etched into me. Her teeth mark is gone, but the imprint on my mind remains. I see Derek behind her in that picture, smug, triumphant. I remember the bruise on her neck, the shape of teeth, It might as well have been a brand, marking her as not mine. Guilt surges. Anger surges. Love surges. I choke on all of it. My breath comes in short, ragged gulps. I stand in the driveway, the envelope clutched in my hands. Then, without a word, I walk to the trash bin and drop the entire thing inside. It lands with a muted thump. The tears on my face are unstoppable. But my decision is final. The last emotional resolution. Days later, the divorce papers are nearly ready. I sign them in my lawyer's office, my hand shaking only once. The lines of text swirl, but I manage to scrawl my name. She's not present, having signed beforehand. After the final signature, I feel a crushing sense of emptiness, as though I'm losing a piece of my soul. The lawyer asks if I'm all right. I nod absently, gather my coat, and leave. Outside, the sky is bleak, heavy with clouds. I get in the car, turn on the ignition, stare through the windshield. My reflection in the rearview mirror shows a man hollowed out by heartbreak. I try to remind myself, this is her doing. She set this in motion. But the guilt remains, whispering that I was insufficient, that I neglected her, that maybe I drove her away. I slammed the steering wheel once, a short, violent outburst that leaves my hand stinging. I won't cry again. I clench my jaw. I drive home, stepping back into the house that used to hold our laughter. Now it's a quiet shell. I stand in the living room, inhaling the faint echo of her perfume. I close my eyes. My father's voice in my head. A man picks himself up. He doesn't fumble. He doesn't run. And ironically, I see images of Derek, a star athlete in his prime, never fumbling the ball. Then the photograph reappears in my mind. I shake my head as if I can physically dislodge the memory. It rings again. Her name glows on the screen. One last attempt to reconnect, maybe. My heart stutters. My finger hovers over the screen. I end the call. The phone goes silent. I set it on the counter. Outside, I hear the wind pick up. The days are shorter, the nights colder. I think about all the changes I've made, the new passcodes, the will, removing her from every aspect of my life. It's a methodical destruction of the existence we had together. Maybe it's petty, or maybe it's necessary for my sanity, or maybe both. But I know one thing. I can't let her back in. I walk to the garage. I grab a trowel and gather a few bricks from that old stack. I'm not sure why. Maybe I just need to occupy my hands, create something tangible to reflect my need for walls and boundaries. I drag a bag of mortar mix across the concrete floor. The scrape is harsh, but it's a real sound, a good distraction from the echo in my mind. Step by step, I begin to lay bricks along the back edge of the yard. Maybe it'll be a low garden wall or a raised flower bed. Doesn't matter. Each time I press a brick into the mortar, I think of the finality of our marriage. The final phone call I refused to answer. The final look on her face as she packed her suitcase. The repetitive motions give me a grim sense of clarity. I'm building a future she won't be part of. I work until dusk, shoulders aching, sweat mixing with the cool evening breeze. My phone remains inside on the counter, silent. I don't check it. I push the last brick into place, wipe mortar from my fingers onto my jeans. Slowly, I straighten up. My back twinges, but the physical pain feels almost cleansing. The yard is silent except for faint traffic hum from a distant highway. The final rays of sunlight catch the half-finished wall, turning the mortar a dull gold. I stare at it, breathing heavily, feeling the dryness in my throat. Something about that row of bricks, rough and imperfect, stands as a symbol. Each stone is a piece of heartbreak, set in place with my own hands, a barrier I'm erecting to keep her out, keep that betrayal out. I realize I'm done for the day. I head inside, wash my hands at the kitchen sink. The water runs cold over my wrists, washing away the dust. My breath slows. The house is dark except for one lamp in the living room. I flick it off, let the darkness flood in. My chest feels tight, but not frantic like before, more like a quiet emptiness. I recall the moment I saw that photo. Her damp hair, the flush on her bare shoulders, the grin on Derek's face. My heart twitches, but the sense of urgency is gone. I'm too drained to panic. I just feel hollow. The dryness is settling in, the calm that replaces the raging storm. Standing there in the darkness, I let my eyes close. I take one long breath. This is the end. She won't come through that door again. Nobody died here, but something died in me. And still, somewhere beneath the rubble, I love her. That's the tragedy. But it changes nothing. I'm already building new walls, forging a life she'll never enter again. And that's how it is. That's how it ends.